work, okay? All right, so the idea for the project is to take a website or build a website, right, and sort of put it into a better spot, put it into a better place. Does that make sense? Right?
Like with all the tools on it?
Yeah, with all the tools you're using. And I'm going to show you some concepts first, and some business concepts first, okay? So one of the most important things I think you have to recognize when you're looking at a business or when you're looking at a website is you want to be unique, right? You want to be a little different. You don't want to be a Me Too type website. So when you go shopping, you're looking for something to be a little more exciting, right? When you buy something, what do you normally buy it? Because it could be on sale. Yeah. It could be on sale, and you're welcome to participate. So I'm gonna edit this out so that I'll be able to use it for other classes and even you guys too in the future. Okay. All right. So you want it to be on sale. You want something special. You want something new, something innovative. That's one of the reasons why you normally would buy something, right? So when you're looking at a website or a business, you want to try to do the same thing. So if you're looking at an existing business, you want to try to reframe it so that there's some excitement there. There's a lot of applications. You have the online world with the handheld. Most businesses now, a lot of purchases are happening through mobile. That's increasingly going up on a regular basis. And then there's also desktop. So you sort of have to understand both platforms, the mobile web and the desktop, to figure out what makes sense for the consumer, right? Okay, so that's where we want to go with this project. Before we get there, there's some basic fundamentals in business and in marketing, a service or product that we should be more familiar with that. Okay? So I want to share with them those ideas with you now so that you could sort of have that as a foundation as you move forward. Okay? When you open up a business or when you offer a product or a service, you want it to be unique. Make sense? You want it to be different. We call that differentiation. It's okay to have a Me Too item, but if you have a Me Too item, you also have to be unique in some way. Maybe the way you provide the service, maybe in your pricing, but you have to have some differentiation between you and the competition, because no one's waiting around to have a Me Too product come into the marketplace and say, hey, I've been waiting for you, where have you been? You have to have some differentiation. So it's got to be lower price, it's got to have a couple more gadgets to it. Makes sense, right? When you buy something in the market, are you looking for all the like items, or you want something that's different, better, maybe better priced, quicker shipping, better colors, some kind of differentiation? That's where you have to be when you launch a product, when you put a product in. And we call that a USP. So that's sort of like the unique selling proposition. You have to have some type of unique selling proposition. What makes you different than anybody else in the marketplace? Make sense? In personal terms, we call that branding, right? How do you brand yourself versus what's out there in the brand? Make sense? So think of it in those terms. So when you're looking at your website, so when you're looking at your service or your product, what makes you different? And then you should take that USP, you should take that differentiation and maximize it so that you're using that to your potential. So you're using it to grow the business. So you're using it to differentiate yourself. And perhaps you can get more money for it. Maybe you'll need to get less money for it, which will be the opposite of positioning, right? We talk about price positioning. But you have to find something that's making you unique. Does that make sense? Right? A unique selling proposition? Okay. So when we do all that, we also should start thinking about, let's think about how we position the product in the marketplace to the consumers. And the best way to do that is, I like to say, let's go back and think about, remember those elementary school, what do you call those, book reports? Elementary school book reports we used to write? What were the basic questions that we used to have to do for those book reports? Oh, yes, exactly, right. So who, right? Who, where, What? Remember that?
What?
Why? Yep. What else?
Why?
When?
When is a good one, right? And how? So, if you think about that, those are fundamental questions that we need to ask ourselves when we're doing just about anything when it comes to business too. So think of it in these terms. If you ever get stuck, think about who are my targets? Who are my target audiences, right? Who's going to buy my product? You have to know who's going to buy the product. Who's going to read this information? Who am I going to make action, take action to go ahead and take the product? Where? Where are they going to find my product? Where are they going to buy it? Where are they going to see it marketed? Those type of questions need to be asked as well. What? Now, what's a big thing? Right? What are you selling? What is your marketing positioning? What do your customers expect of you? All that's important. So you can answer a bunch of these questions as you drill down these basic fundamental questions here. Why? Why you? Why would the consumer buy you versus somebody else? What makes you so different? Right? Why do you want them to buy this product over another product? What makes that product so different? And then you have the when. When do you want that to take place? You want that to take place now? You want that to take place in the future? When do you want to market to them? Do you want to market to them sometime next week? Do you want to market to them now? Do you want to market to them during the holiday season? You have to understand all those concepts when you try to get out there and put a website together and put a plan together. And then how? How are you going to convert? Remember, conversion is a big thing. We want people to come to our website, click through, and make purchases. That's how we get that return on investment. So it's important that they come in and they return some type of action, right? We want to put together some go-to-action strategy. So we create these keywords, we create a beautiful web page, but then they come to the web page and they click through it and get to another section and they buy something there. All right, thank you very much. All right. So that's basically if you ever get stuck in a business plan, a marketing plan, or just putting together a strategy, take a minute, take a breath, and then ask the who, where, what, why, when, how questions. And you can sort of position that all kinds of different ways. But if you can start answering those questions, you'll be able to plot out your next steps. Okay? Did we do that the little target exercise last week? We didn't do the target exercise yet, right? All right, let me show you something here. Let's see if I have my little exercise ball. Okay. All right. So, pay attention to what I do. All right. It's gonna be a little quiz here. I'm gonna take this ball. I'm gonna throw it up here against the wall like that and catch it. So. All right. How'd I do?
Good.
Good. You think I did good? How did I do? You're looking at me like, what is this, guys? I have no idea. You do the same thing. You're like, am I crazy? All right, so think about that. I just threw a ball up against a giant blank white canvas. You have no idea if I did good or not, right? You're saying good. You're being nice. You're saying I did good. Now, let's change it a little bit. Let me do this. Let me do this.
You did so.
Okay, now I'm going to do this. All right? Now, I'm going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to take the ball and throw it up against the wall. 3 times, just like I did. How'd I do there?
You did good.
Now I did great. Now you're saying I did good more confidently. Why? What's the difference between The first time I did it and the second time I did it.
Target.
Exact target.
Exactly right, I had a target. Do you see how that's different? So imagine there are businesses out there that they take a ball, they have this great new shiny idea, which represents the ball. And all they do is they come to this big giant whiteboard, which is the market they want to go into. And they take the ball and they just start throwing the ball against the board, right? And they do that over and over and over again with the hopes that they hit something and it sticks and they're successful. Listen, there's nothing wrong with that. There are companies that do that and succeed. They actually hit something when they throw the ball. Because if you throw the ball enough, eventually something's going to come by and you're going to hit it. And you know, that's luck. That's good. You need a little luck. But now in this particular case, what did I do?
You aimed it.
I aimed it because I created the target and I knew exactly where I needed to throw the ball. Does that make sense? So the whole illustration here is that you cannot throw a ball against a white canvas wall without having a target and knowing that you did well or not. You have to measure something. So in your business concept, in your business idea, if you just say, okay, I want to have a red ping pong ball and I want everybody in the universe to buy a red ping pong ball, right? That's great. Some people in the universe will end up buying the red ping pong ball, other people in the universe won't. But if you take the same red ping pong ball and you start thinking the who, what, where, why, how, when, right? The first question I would say is, who would buy a red ping pong ball? Well, obviously it would be people who play ping pong. The second question is, well, where are they? Well, I have to find out where they're located. The next question is, why would they buy a ping pong ball, a red ping pong ball, over what they're buying now, which is the white ping pong ball? Well, because this bounces better, you can see this at night, it has more, it's a little different than that's out there, right? And when are they gonna buy? Well, they're gonna buy it before they play ping pong. Well, is there a ping pong season that I have to get involved with? So you can start narrowing down your business plan and your targets if you get some of that information. So it's okay to have a great idea that you want to market to everybody, but when you start narrowing things down, it becomes a little more finite and much better targeting. Make sense? Any questions on that concept? All right, so if you start with that concept and you go from there and you say, okay, I want to improve the business, I want to improve the website, I want to improve things, start with, well, what's my target? Sometimes companies start up with the wrong target. And if you start up with the wrong target, what do you think happens?
You're not gonna get.
You're not going to hit it.
Yeah.
Right, you're not going to hit it, right?
Just like Walmart went to China and it didn't succeed.
There's many companies that go after a target and they just don't succeed. I mean, recently there's all kinds of companies are all over the place. They go to the target. Or something else happens. The target moves and the company doesn't move with the target. We see that too, right? So the target could move from here to here, and you need to shift with the change in the shift, and shift with the target movement too. Does that make sense? So all this is part of thinking through the plan. So yes, you could have a website, you could have focus, but you always have to be thinking about what's the next step. Are we going to meet our targets there? Are we able to give them what they need? That's going to be key. Okay, so that's part of the project too. So when you take on your project, think of it in those terms. Where do I go from A to B, and how do I improve the business from here to there? Okay? Any questions on that piece? You good? You okay?
Yes, sir.
You tired today?
Yeah,
Yeah, had a rough night?
I was studying to be a coach.
Oh, what's that? You out of the country?
No, I was studying to be a coach for soccer.
A country star, like sing?
Soccer coach.
Oh, soccer coach. I can't hear you. Speak. Oh yeah, a soccer coach?
Yeah,
Are you a soccer coach?
yes,
Oh, cool. So you play soccer?
we used to.
Oh, all right, cool.